I never thought a simple creek running through my property would turn into a war. But that's exactly what happened the day Karen Whitmore decided she owned more than just her HOA. My name is Daniel Carter, and that creek behind my house had been there long before any of those luxury homes were built. It wasn't just water flowing through land, it was a natural drainage path that kept the entire area balanced. But Karen didn't care about balance, she cared about control. One morning I walked outside, coffee in hand, just enjoying the quiet, and that's when I saw her marching toward me. She didn't even say hello. She pointed straight at the creek and started yelling, saying it was ruining the neighborhood view, lowering property value, and attracting wildlife. I stayed calm because I knew exactly where this was going. I told her clearly that creek was part of my land and legally protected. But Karen just laughed like I had said something funny. She told me the HOA had already voted and they were going to fix the problem themselves. That's when I realized this wasn't just an argument, this was going to be a disaster. A few days later, trucks started showing up. Big cement trucks, construction workers, barriers. I stood there watching as they began pouring concrete directly into the creek. Water slowed down, then stopped. That natural flow that had existed for years was gone in a matter of hours. Karen stood there smiling like she had just improved the entire neighborhood. But I knew better. I warned her one last time. I told her blocking that creek would trap water, especially if it rained. She rolled her eyes and walked away like I didn't exist. And then the rain came. Not just a little rain. A full storm. The kind that tests everything. At first, nothing seemed wrong. But then I noticed the water level rising. Not flowing. Rising. The concrete barrier was holding everything back like a wall. Within hours, the water had nowhere to go. It started spilling over. Slowly at first, creeping into yards. Then faster. Driveways. Lawns. Garages. All the million-dollar homes Karen was trying to protect were now sitting in water. I stepped outside and looked around. Cars half submerged. People panicking. And Karen, standing in her front yard completely confused. Like she couldn't understand how this was happening. She saw me and immediately started yelling again, blaming me for everything. Saying I should have stopped it. That I knew this would happen. And she was right. I did know. But I also warned her. Police showed up not long after. They looked around at the flooding, the damage, the chaos. Karen ran straight to them, pointing at me like I was the problem. But this time I didn't say much. I just pointed toward the creek. Or what used to be a creek, now buried under concrete. The officers walked over and saw it for themselves. Water backed up with no outlet. Man-made blockage. Clear as day. The moment they understood the situation, everything changed. Karen's tone changed. Her confidence disappeared. Suddenly, she wasn't shouting anymore. She was explaining, trying to shift blame. But it was too late. By the next morning, crews were back. Not to build, but to break. They started tearing apart the concrete barrier piece by piece. As soon as the water found its path, again it rushed through like it had been waiting. The flooding slowly went down, but the damage was already done. Mud everywhere, ruined landscaping, flooded garages, and a very expensive lesson. Karen sat outside her house looking completely defeated. No yelling, no pointing, just silence. For the first time, she understood something simple. You don't fight nature, and you definitely don't ignore warnings just because you think you're in control. As for me, I went back to my morning routine, standing by the creek, coffee in hand, watching the water flow the way it always had. Calm, balanced, exactly how it was meant to be. Like, thumbs up, sign, subscribe bell. And comment where are you watching from. Globe showing Americas.